Handheads, and welcome back to my channel. Or welcome for the first time if you're new here. Today, we're going to take a look at some of the vertical handhelds that I reviewed this year and decide if you can only get one, which one should you get? Now, there's quite a few choices out there, including many versions that I did not get a chance to test out this year. But if you only have one selection to make, which one should you get? Well, that's not very easy. We have, in our testing that we did review, we have the RG35XX and the Plus. This is the Plus model. I did use the RG35XX extensively before starting this channel, and I've been using the Plus, and I will do its own independent review here soon. But should this be the one that you should go for? I don't know. There's always the tried and true Miyoo Mini Plus. This guy right here has been one of my favorites for quite a while. It's been on the list of a lot of people's favorites, and it has a lot going for you. But is it the best one to get? Maybe, maybe not. What about this guy right here? This is the R36S, and this guy has been one of the biggest surprises of this year, aside from the RGB30, which really surprised me as well. But as far as vertical handhelds go, if you're going to want to save money and get a great device, this guy right here is really surprising. Is he in the running? Could he win? I don't know. You'll have to stay tuned to see. And then there's the XU10, the one that we just reviewed recently, and has some really good lockdown software. It's pretty much plug and play and just has a nice form factor. But maybe you just want to do something crazy and go with this little guy right here. This is the RG Nano. This little guy is, very pocketable, can take it anywhere. It's got a metal shell, so is this the best one to get? I don't know, probably not, but if you really want to go crazy, you could do one of these, AliExpress specials, one of these power banks that have, somewhat of a decent screen and crappy software, but that's probably not what you want to do if you want a vertical. But we're going to take a little bit look, and I'm going to tell you what's the strength of each one and what the weaknesses of each one, and then we'll wrap it up and talk about which one we think you should get if you're only going to pick one out. Okay, we'll be right back, Deadheads. Okay, let's start with this guy, the RG35XX Plus or the RG35XX. Both of these are very capable devices. They come from a company, Anbernic, which provides really good support, has a trusted name, and has developed a reputation for having good solid hardware. Their software is a little bit to be left to desired. I think that they got the hardware nailed down, but the software is definitely not what it could be. One of the great things about the 35XX is that it has full support for Garlic OS, so you can put custom firmware. This guy right now, not quite yet, does not have that custom firmware support. It should in the future. There's a very, very early alpha beta version of Garlic OS 2.0, which should come to it, making this device more attractive. But at this moment, the 35XX is probably a better buy if you're going to choose this device as your one and only vertical handheld. Again, we're talking now, 6 months from now, this will probably be the one that's better choice. But as far as the hardware goes, it feels the same as the 35XX. It's a little bit bigger. It does have the removable battery door here. It's got Wi-Fi, but again, the Wi-Fi is not very useful right now because the software doesn't do much with it other than moonlighting. You can't even update over the air with this as far as I can tell. As far as emulation, it's going to play your games just fine. It's going to play up to PlayStation 1, Dreamcast. Even some little, Nintendo DS is going to be thrown in there. So it is going to be able to play and emulate anything up into the 32-bit N64 era. You're not going to get PlayStation 2, you're not going to get, GameCube, Wii, none of that stuff out of this. But for what this is, a vertical handheld, again, this plus over the regular one at this point, probably not quite worth the extra money. Especially if you can get a really good deal on a used RG3555. So I would say the positives for this one are it comes from a company that has a good track record. It has decent ROMs that are not repeating and are loaded with, although you should still do your own ROMs. It does have dual slots. Both versions have the dual slots. It has a nice solid feel to it. It doesn't feel cheap. It's got a decent screen and it looks good. The cons are the software is not very good. The support is not there yet. Custom firmware is yet to really been implemented, and it just really is sort of a half-baked launch, if you ask me. The original one remains a better choice. However, if you're looking for something with custom firmware, this guy is not the best one, unfortunately. So let's move on to the next one. And we're back. And candidate number 2 is the Miyoo Mini Plus. Now this guy is a smaller form factor than the other ones, although it still has the same 3.5-inch screen. So you can see when we compare it with the Anbernic that it's just a little bit smaller, although the screen is essentially the same size. It does have a way better operating system. It's got Onion OS, which it comes with, and the custom firmware support for this unit is fantastic. The hardware feels great. The buttons are good. The company has a great reputation. It has a removable battery. It's just been one of the best devices you can buy at its price point for this year. So again, if you want really good custom firmware, if you want the ability to upgrade consistently, if you want built-in Wi-Fi that lets you update, this guy right here is going to be a great choice for you, and is certainly in the running for my pick, although we're only a third of the way through and we'll have to wait and find out. It's going to emulate everything through PS1. It does not have a GPU, so it's not going to do much above that, although the custom firmware team have got Nintendo DS working on this, which is an incredible feat. Again, it is limited to PS1 and under, but if that's what you want, that's what you're looking for, it's going to do it great. There are no shaders on this because there's no GPU. So again, as long as you know what you're getting in this, it is a great selection at that choice. But we're going to go into the next candidate and we'll be right back. And we're back with our little friend here, the RG Nano. So what is great about this is it's absolutely pocketable. You can hide this thing in your scrubs pocket. You could put it in your pants pocket. You could put it in your purse, and it just is so portable. Now, with that comes a super tiny screen. For someone like me that's getting older, this screen is not necessarily the best screen. However, it is surprising that the screen can give what it gives. It is made of metal. This is a metal, guys. This is nice. It feels premium. It feels solid. You have your TF card here. You have a shoulder buttons. It's going to play your 16-bit, 8-bit, and some 32-bit games. It's got really nice buttons. Again, Anbernic is a company that is certainly supporting this system. And if you want to just hop into some Contra on your Nintendo 8-bit, this right here is going to give you that ability. And again, the sound is surprisingly decent. This is a fantastic device for what it is. It's hard to imagine anyone that would give a screen at this size a much better shell, a much better experience. It just could be on your keychain. And again, this really is just a really cool little device. Now, I don't think that if you're only going to buy one vertical, this will end up being it. Although, if you are into this hobby and you have like an Odin or you have a Windows handheld, this might be a really great secondary backup to that. So, you know, keeping that in mind, I'm successfully playing Contra here. I mean, it's crazy, right? So again, premium build, great software. At this size screen, you're not likely to find much other competition that's better. And it's just really, again, in the potential running for you if you were only going to get one handheld. I also picked up this neat little case on Etsy so you can store it. So that's really nice as well. And it has, you know, a community support behind it, making it a good choice. But let's go on to the next one. And we're back. And our next contender is this guy, the R36S. Now, there was a version, an R35, that came out earlier this year. It had the sticks up here, the D-pad down here, and it was not great. It wasn't all that bad, but it wasn't great. And then this guy came out of nowhere. This is one of the surprise hits of the year for sure. This little guy is very well made. The sticks are in a good position. The hardware feels good. I really like these buttons. I think they look great. And it just has a really nice feel to it. It does not feel cheap, although it doesn't feel premium either. But considering that you can pick one of these up for $35 to $45, crazy. Again, it has a nice feel in the hands. It's got a decent screen. It can play Nintendo DS through PS1. It can play, you know, pretty much many of what the other handhelds do. Although with this particular chipset, you're going to find that the Anbernic device is probably going to outperform it a bit, as well as the XU10. But again, considering the price point here, this is just simply a great device at a great price. Again, it's got decent sound. Battery life is very good on this. It's got a great feel, and it's coming in some more colors pretty soon. So again, this is a fantastic choice with solid software support. I do wish that the software would be will continue to be developed. I'd like to see some custom firmware on this. You can see that the software here is not terrible, but you know, again, when you're dealing with something like the Anbernic or the Miyoo Mini, where you do have some software support, it just makes quite a difference on that. So it, you know, this is another great choice. So now it's time to talk about one last one. So we'll be right back with our final selection. And we're back. And this here is the unit we just most recently reviewed. This is the XU10 from Ampown. This little guy surprised me. First of all, if you are looking for plug and play, if you're looking for something that comes with games, that is going to just play out of the box, you're not going to have to fiddle with, you're not going to have to do any tinkering with, this is going to be for you. It definitely is a great unit. I picked this up during Black Friday at about $55. It normally runs, I think, $65 to $70. And I think you can maybe even still get it on sale if you just find the right sale prices. It is going to play what these other analog devices play. It's going to play through Nintendo DS, as you can see here, PlayStation 1, Dreamcast, and definitely is going to give you a really good selection of ROMs. What makes this guy really great though is the software. Aside from any sort of custom-based software that you could hope for, this guy has probably the best software I've seen a vertical handheld ship with to date. It definitely has that plug and play feel, so there's really no tinkering going on. It's locked down quite a bit. It's not going to let you tinker with it very much. It definitely is going to provide you with just that really solid plug and play experience. You can see here it comes preloaded with a ton of ROMs. It has the Mario games. It also has this unique back part here where it's got a reset button and the power on button. The quality is every bit as good as the R36S, not quite as good as the Miyoo, and really close to the Anbernic device as far as that goes. But just a super easy plug and play version here, running on some sort of Linux. You have your instructions there. just a really surprising aspect here. So with that being said, it's time to review our final thoughts and say which one of these vertical handhelds is the one that you should get if you can only get one, according to, of course, Dead Fred. You guys are probably going to have different viewpoints, and that's wonderful. I love it. Competition is good for us. This, of course, is my opinion on which one I would get if I only was able to choose one. So we'll be right back, and we'll announce our winner for Best Vertical Handheld of 2023. Okay, guys, so you have one of these. You got an Odin, too, or some other handheld that can play the elite of the elite. You can take this around, you can play PlayStation 2, you can play GameCube, or you have a Windows handheld and you can do some Modern Warfare on the go. But what about the lower level games? What about something quick and easy? What about something pocketable? So for me, what I picked for 2023 as the best vertical handheld is this guy right here. Yes, the R36S, one that I didn't see coming, one that I didn't think would be my pick for vertical handheld of 2023. However, considering the price, considering the performance you get out of this, considering the quality of materials, this guy is a winner. It is my favorite thing I pick up, I play. I don't know why, but it just seems to be easy to play. I hope that custom firmware comes. Yes, you can get more premium software experience from a Miyoo or in the Anbernic, get a better hardware, but again, all of those are great handhelds, minus the power bank, but they're all great handhelds. But if I only could buy one, it's going to be this guy right here. For $35 to $40, this is a no-brainer. It can make a great gift. It has good ROMs. It's got Mario games loaded. It doesn't have a bunch of the Chinese ROMs that are just crazy. And it's just such a really good price for that. It's pocketable. You can take it around. It's more easy to move around and use. If you just want that quick 8-bit, 16-bit, you know, even up to Nintendo DS. Now, it's not going to play the DS software as good as maybe the Anbernic will, or the XU10, but it's going to play some DS games pretty good. So, again, surprising to me, yes, the R36S is my pick for 2023 vertical handheld of the year. Now, I know some of you guys got different opinions. You're going to say I'm crazy, and that's okay. I love it. I love the competition, and you need to pick what's best for you. But for me, if I could only buy one, and I wanted to just really save some money for some other stuff, this guy right here. Okay, guys, I hope you're enjoying this content. Please remember to hit that like button and hit subscribe and help the channel grow so I can bring you more awesome content and help our community grow. Again, this has been our 2023 vertical handheld of the year, the R36S. I'll leave a link in the description where you can pick one up. Dead Fred out.